You may have seen that President Trump just got back from Asia, where he had a meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. He made a deal with the Chinese president. I think it's important to understand the contours of the deal. Just to review the bidding, when President Trump was sworn in, he put in place a bunch of tariffs on a bunch of countries, including China. China retaliated by refusing to buy, for instance, American soybeans, threatening not to sell us rare earth minerals, which go in everything like our phones and our microchips. So there's been this trade war that's basically been going on for the better part of a year since President Trump took office, or soon thereafter. The two met and agreed to what they're calling a one-year truce. But the devil's in the details on this deal. It's true, the Chinese did agree to buy a bunch of our soybeans. That's very good for Michigan soybean farmers. But on the flip side, there wasn't much that came out of this deal other than to set us back to where we were the day before President Trump was inaugurated. So for all the messiness, for all the back and forth, for all the stops and starts for our farmers, for our tech industry, the deal that's on the table just brought us back to where we were in January of 2025. And then in the future, we're going to be watching very closely, because we understand that President Trump is willing to make a deal on some of our most sophisticated microchips and selling China, our potential adversary, some of our most sensitive and high-tech microchips. Important on what wasn't discussed in the meeting between President Trump and Xi Jinping. Issues of national security actually weren't really discussed. Tariffs and the trade war took all the air out of the room. There was no conversation about cyber attacks and how many cyber attacks are happening here in the United States that come out of China. No discussion of Taiwan, which is a big point of contention. No talk of military activities, which again is a very important thing. So the trade war that was precipitated in the last 6-8 months was really the only conversation at the table.